Let me now show you a photo. What do you think this looks like? This is not Mars. It is the United States of America, a drought-hit United States of America. This is Lake Mead, America's largest reservoir. Its water levels have fallen to 28%. It is 175 feet lower than it used to be in the year 2000. What do you think is happening here? The US is battling extreme heat and low rainfall, and the result looks like this. Almost all of the American states are experiencing drought conditions. In some, it's severe, in some, exceptional, like in the case of Texas. Here, farmers have had to sell their cows for slaughter well ahead of schedule. Why? Because they could not afford to keep the cattle. Water sources have dried up, and there is no grass to feed the cows. Farmers in Lone Star have downed their herd size by 50%. 43% in Mexico, 41% in Oregon. 37% of American farmers have killed their existing crops. They're convinced that crops won't mature under such dry conditions. How dry are we talking about? The US experienced the third hottest July on record. In parts of Texas, the average temperature was around 38 degrees. For the US, this is beyond normal. As we speak, 60% of West, South, and Central Plains have been hit by severe or exceptional drought. In Arizona and Nevada, the water level in the Colorado River is nearing its lowest point ever. The river supplies water to some 40 million people, both in the US and in Mexico. It also supports agricultural production in the area, feeds Lake Mead and Lake Powell. But this river is in the throes of a drought. The shoreline is receding and skeletons are emerging. 5 sets of human skeletons have emerged from Lake Mead since the month of May. A World War II boat has also emerged. So have bathtub rings. Authorities say if water levels continue to fall, the Colorado will not be able to generate electricity. So Arizona and Nevada have been told to limit the amount of water they pump from the river. In California, residents have been asked to cut power use. Supplies too have reached to its breaking point. In Las Vegas and some other cities, authorities have banned lawns, meaning you cannot have grass patches in housing societies, commercial sites, or sidewalks. That's because the grass consumes too much water. So turfs are now being dug up. Some are being replaced by desert plants. Some are just being covered with gravel. This is the state of the United States of America. 50% of California's farmers have had to remove their crops. This is a state that has high fruit and nut tree crops, California. Why is all of this happening? We all know the answer to the question. It's climate change. We've spoken about this and its causes over and over again. So let's focus instead on what this extreme weather means for those watching us from the US. One, it means a summer of extremes. Parts of California, for example, recorded temperatures up to 43 degrees Celsius on the 17th of August. Extreme heat also risks wildfires, many of which are already blazing in the US. And temperature is not the only thing to worry about. There's also high food prices since orchards have been destroyed. Crops have been raised. There's bound to be an imbalance in demand and supply. Reports say fruits, nuts and vegetables in the US mostly come from states hit by droughts. What about meat? Currently, the market is flooded with cattle. Ranchers are selling off their herd. Calves that would usually sell for up to $800 are reportedly now being sold for $70. But once the market consumes these excess animals, the ranchers are left with a smaller breeding herd and prices are bound to go up. What about the rest of the world, even if you're not in the US? And your budget will feel the burn of this extreme weather. Take almonds, for example. I'm assuming a lot of you consume them. Well, did you know California grows 80% of the world's almonds? The drought has hit almond production, and our markets worldwide will feel the shortage. Same with wheat, corn, soybean, and other American exports. You know what they say? You reap what you sow. For decades now, we have sown the seeds of climate change, and now the US barely has crops to reap. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.